Hey, what's up, Travel Chronicles? I don't know if we're on chapter 75 or 6 or what, but the COVID stuff's coming back up pretty hardcore, and it's a couple things. One, they announced the vaccine, right? But they announced it after the election, so Trump didn't get any benefit from it. Little shady, yeah. I think he should have gotten credit for that. If we want to blame him for 220,000 deaths, then maybe we should have given him credit for being able to get a vaccine, that quickly. And I'm not taking the vaccine myself right away, or at all, maybe. I don't know. But it would be beneficial for people, 50s, 60s, 70s that are worried, that, don't want to venture out, don't want to put themselves at risk, to give them peace of mind. That'd be great for them. So the other thing, though, is the case rate right around the election and stuff, and nobody really talked about it then because the election was such a debacle that the election was so bad that nobody talked about the COVID cases. Well, the COVID numbers have spiked up above like 130,000 a day, right? It's like insane. Like in the late summer, we were around like 40,000, maybe in the 30,000s a day, and now it's like up to 130,000. Now the death rate hasn't jumped up yet, right? And there's lag, right? But we haven't seen it triple. Because we're right around, I think like 700, 800 a day. So tripling would be obviously, the highest that it's been, 24, 2,500 a day. Last week, I guess it's only Thursday. So on like Monday or Tuesday, we're looking at like 500 or 600 over the weekend. And once again, these aren't solely COVID deaths. It's COVID related. And the governor of Ohio yesterday came out and said, if people are not wearing masks in stores, that store is going to get a warning, and then if they continue to let people not wear masks in their store, they're going to be shut down for 24 hours to start with, and then they'll determine what happens after that. So you don't know if it's just repeat 24-hour shutdowns, or it goes 24 then 48, and it keeps extending itself until eventually you drive that company out of business, right? That's the only thing, because if you don't allow them to open, you don't allow them to have customers, they're going to shut down. Like, there's no way to survive without that. Now, maybe a Walmart or something could, because you could do online stuff. Like, they have that infrastructure where they could survive. But you shut down a Walmart one time, you're going to get litigation. Like, they're going to come after you. They're going to come after the state. They're going to challenge that, and rightfully they should, because it's about freedom at this point, right? If you look at the numbers, if you look at the actual numbers, and this was the thing whenever the governor was giving his speech yesterday, he was talking in hyperbole, right? Oh, the case rate has gone up. We're up to this number, 25 or 2,700 cases. Okay. I think that might have been hospitalizations, right? What's the capacity? What percent are we at compared to how many we can handle? Didn't talk about it. How many cases are in the ICU? The ICU rate has whatever. It's gone up. Okay, where are we at? Didn't say anything about it, okay? Didn't even mention ventilators, because ventilators, I think they found out, are not the correct way to treat this. But the ventilators are practically nothing. On the Ohio Department of Health website, there are, specific numbers for number of cases, hospitalizations maybe a percent. ICU is a number, and ventilators are a number. Okay? Those numbers, the total number of cases has gone up by, and the numbers on the chart are not great, but somewhere around 1,800 in the last 2 weeks. Okay, so we're up to now around 2,800. So we went from like 1,000. I'm sorry. I think they've gone up like 1,200. Because I think we were around like 1,800 per day, and now we're I think it was a per day number. I don't think it was a total active cases. That wouldn't even make sense. No, it had to be a per day number. So, but I think the ICUs were a total number, not incidents per day. We're not picking up 800 ICU cases per day. So the total rate was at 2,700, 2,800 a day, going up like, I want to say 50%, but I think that's too high now that I think about it, because that would be like 1,400 cases a day, 1,600 cases a day, and I don't think it went up that much. But the ICU cases have gone from like 600 total to 800 total cases. So that's, 200 increase, 33%, if you want to break it down like that. The number of ventilators are, I think they're less than 10 or 15% of the total ventilators in the state even now, and it's almost, that's not even that's a non-issue. Like, I think they thought it was going to be something at the beginning. Turns out, that's like the absolute last resort. You don't want to do that, because then there's maybe a better chance you'll actually kill the person than you will to get them better. So I think they've quit kind of doing that and pushing it. They're still keeping track of the number, but the number's incredibly low compared to ICU rates. So now you have a total number of ICUs. All right. Then it breaks it down by percent. Hospital capacity overall, ICU capacity, and then the ventilator capacity, which is nothing. The ICU capacity has gone from around 12, 13% to 20%, right? And there's probably a lag, but we're at 20%. So even if you take that initial baseline and say, well, the case rates have doubled since then, we go from around 13, even 14% to 28% is what you're going to be looking at from where we're at right now. It's like, well, yeah, but if the cases keep going up, all right, that's fine. Let's say the cases double again from right now. Let's say we go from 2,800 cases to 5,600 cases a day, which is just crazy, right? That's just crazy growth. And that's why that's what I dislike about Twitter, because somebody gets on there and is like, oh, well, this, and this, because I ask a question. Are these cases going up because we're capturing the regular cold, the flu, inside this coronavirus test, right? Oh, you're testing positive. Oh, nope, that's not it. Okay, Twitter guy. You obviously understand everything about this and don't question everything. Like, oh, I know somebody in the medical field. That's not possible. Okay. The tests are 100% fallible. They have an 85% success rate to begin with. 15% are off, false positive or negative. But they're 100% right when it comes to identifying flu or colds versus COVID. Gotcha. So that's garbage in my opinion. Anyway, the case rate doubles to 5,600. Okay, so let's say by the time the lag catches up, we double the ICU numbers to 28% of capacity. Now we'll be at 56% capacity. Barely over half, right? The hospitals right now, though, have 60% ICU capacity, non-COVID related patients, okay? We're going to shut down a Walmart because somebody's not wearing a mask in the Walmart. But we're not telling the hospitals, like, hey, cancel the elective surgeries, any elective procedures, we can't do. If it's an emergency procedure, do that, especially if it's life-saving. But anybody it's not a life-saving procedure, elective procedure, we're postponing it. And for right now, at least until December, and maybe the first of the year, right? Maybe till 2021. Make that your first step, not, oh, we're going to shut down Walmart. We're going to shut down gyms. We're going to shut down bars. Like, even if you think that's That's where this disease is spreading. That's the only place it's spreading. It's not spreading at schools. It's not spreading at the sports games. And you're saying, well, it's got to be the bars and restaurants again. They're getting us again. It makes no sense. And if you want to say, well, it's churches too. Okay, churches have been meeting since July, right? So it makes no sense to say, well, all of a sudden, now we're in November, huge spike. It's from those people congregating. And our church is like, all right, once church is over, exit the doors and, please leave. So you're missing out on a lot of like fellowship time and stuff. Just where you say hi to people. Because of this. But they've been doing it since July. This isn't a new thing. That's how they've been doing since they come back. And the church, it's getting fuller because more and more people are coming back. And now this is probably going to drive some people away because they're worried. Because they're nervous. But just the way they're presenting the numbers, I mean, my goodness, we're 2 doubles away from being a little over 50% capacity. And it's not doubled in the last 2 weeks. It's not doubled. Just anytime a politician speaks in hyperbole, you got to question. Because I want numbers. I want to know what the number is. I want to know what the percent is. And I want to know why that's a concern. That's what I want to know. I don't want to speak in hyperbole. Oh, case rates are going up. Hospitalizations are going up. We could be in trouble. Because originally what we were sold was flatten the curve so the hospitals could handle it later. Flatten the curve so they could handle it. Right? So we're at less than 20% capacity right now in the hospitals for COVID. We flatten the curve. Hospitals should be able to take it. They got 60% of people in ICU, not COVID related. What are you doing? And I think that's normal. Or maybe around 80% is normal. I think we're still less than 80% total. Like we still have over 20% capacity in ICUs. So if you stop everything right now, all the elective stuff, so that you're not risking, infections and people going to the ICU for, botched surgeries or things that go crazily wrong, then that's going to give you more capacity, especially in 2 weeks. But we're not challenging hospitals. We're not challenging the hospitals. We're challenging Walmart. We're challenging mom and pop stores. We're challenging Dollar General. Ridiculous. I mean, here's what I think the problem is, right? A leader leads. A politician is trying to get votes to get elected. That's what a politician is. Politicians aren't necessarily leaders. And I'm not advising or advocating for a dictatorship. I'm not saying those people are leaders either. They're just able to get people under their control. But if you're going to be elected to a position, you got to be willing to lead. And you got to be willing to take the blame for stuff, right? And you have to be able to make hard decisions. And saying we're going to shut down a Walmart because somebody's not wearing a mask, I guess that's a hard decision, but it doesn't make any sense. As much as I want to be an advocate for Mike DeWine because I think he was, out there ahead of people, trying to be proactive to start with, I think the proactiveness now is just, it's a waste. He's shooting himself in the foot because there's no data that's backing this up. Are people going to die from COVID? Yeah, they're going to die. Are we capable of stopping it? No. And even if we stop it here, it's still in the rest of the world. Like, this has been going on for 6 months. You're telling me, like, I've stayed away from people. Like, I haven't gotten infected. So how come other people are still getting infected? Because they're not following the rules? So you think more rules are going to help? When the case rate is skyrocketing? What's the reason? I still say it's because the test isn't accounting for other diseases and things that are catching up right now. But that's just me. I'm not a political expert. I'm not a immunization or infectious disease expert. But I am a chemical engineer. I am mathematically inclined. And I can tell you right now, the numbers don't add up at all. At least not to the point where we're going to shut down stores and stuff because somebody's not wearing a mask. So that's all I got today. Be careful. Be COVID free, or as much as you can. It may be unavoidable now. I don't know. All right. Later.